Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Leanne Bishop and I'm going to be guiding you through a tutorial on how to draw a realistic eye. Whether you're a beginner or you're just wanting to refine your skills, this video is going to take you through the process step by step. Let's dive into the materials that we're going to be using for this tutorial. First up, we have the Strathmore 300 Bristol Vellum paper. This is one of my favorite papers to use. It's well known for its slightly smooth yet textured surface, making it perfect for detailed pencil and charcoal work. This paper is extremely durable. It's 100 pounds or 270 GM square, making it nice and thick and easy to withstand lots of erasing and repeated blending. Next, we'll be using the Lyra gray tone set. This is a versatile set which includes a variety of materials to help complement your drawing. It includes a range of both warm and cool tone pastel blocks. We're going to be using mostly the cool tone pastel blocks in this tutorial. I've put together this color chart here just to give you an idea of what the range of values these cool gray tone pastel blocks provide. I also included the white block as well as the Lyra 2B charcoal block. Next, I took those cool tone gray pastels and I just shaved them down into a fine powder and organized them into these little containers and just labeled them just for simplicity and to stay organized. This set also includes this pencil sharpener, which is designed specifically to accommodate the larger size pencils in this set. And then it also includes this Kneadable Eraser, which is great for erasing mistakes and precision details. Another nice addition to this set is this large extra dark HB carbon block as well as this 2B charcoal block. And then we've got a variety of different carbon and charcoal pencils here. They provide a range of values and are great for providing deep, dramatic details and ideal for creating soft and subtle shades. They provide 3 grades of charcoal, 3 grades of carbon, and then 3 different grades of carbon extra dark. Next we have the Lyra Rembrandt Art Design Graphite Pencil set. This set comes with 6 pencils ranging from 2H to 9B, allowing for a wide range of tones. The harder pencils, 2H and HB, are great for initial sketches and light shading, while the softer ones, the 2B, 4B, 6B, and 9B, are perfect for adding depth and richness to your drawings. For this tutorial, we're specifically going to be using the 2H for our sketch outline. Next up are paintbrushes. So in order to help achieve smooth shading in my drawings, I love to use a variety of different soft and firm paintbrushes. First up are the Princeton Glacier round paintbrushes. These paintbrushes are nice and soft, and they have synthetic interlock bristles for long-term shape retention, and they feature a really nice crystal clear acrylic handle. When starting my drawings, I typically use the large number 16 brush to slowly build my values. Then to darken my values, I switch to a modified brush, which I like to trim at an angle like a doe foot applicator. This adjustment gives a firmer edge, allowing me to press the charcoal deeper into the paper for richer values. Next we have the Princeton Ashley paintbrushes. These brushes feature interlock chunking bristles made from natural hog hair. Their durability and texture make them perfect for blending charcoal seamlessly. The firm bristles effectively push the charcoal deep into the paper's texture, allowing for nice, smooth, and even shading. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but we'll be mostly using the bright size number 2 in this tutorial. Lastly, a great option for a medium to firm brush is the Princeton Imperial series. These paintbrushes are made with synthetic mongoose, which are stiffer than nylon, yet softer than bristle, making them perfect for blending charcoal. These paintbrushes also come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but I tend to reach for the round brushes the most. I'll be using this Graduate Markall paint marker in white. It has a 0.7mm high quality fiber tip and water-based ink that dries quickly and provides a nice smooth matte finish. I find that it's also a beautifully opaque white, and it's perfect for adding highlights and can be layered once it's dry. Lastly, we'll be utilizing a fine tip eraser. This is a great tool for adding intricate details and fine lines as well as highlights. Alright, that completes our materials. Let's get started with the tutorial. So I've printed my reference photo at the same size as my drawing. Having it right beside me can be really helpful to achieve more accurate shading and values. For the purpose of this tutorial, I've already prepared my sketch outline using a 2H graphite pencil. While I won't be covering the sketch outline process in this video, I do have an excellent resource available for those wanting more in-depth tutorials. You can visit the lovely Art Academy to explore my newest drawing course called Realism Revealed, a beginner's guide to hyperrealistic drawing. This course is designed to guide you through the fundamentals of hyperrealistic drawing. With lifetime access and a membership to an exclusive online community, you'll have support and encouragement every step of the way. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, I invite you to click the link in the description below to find out more. I'll begin by using the extra dark Carbon H pencil to outline the iris. Then I'll be using the Ashley Bright No. 2 dry brush to gently blend and soften that line. And just a quick tip, I'm placing a glassine piece of paper underneath my hand to keep the paper safe from smudges and prevent any oils from transferring. Next, I'll be using the 2B charcoal pencil to add value to the darkest parts of the iris. I'm going to use that same brush again to blend out the dark areas and move the charcoal around to create the mid-tone areas and add value to the upper lid. I'm taking the blending stump to further soften the outer edge of the iris, the waterline, and the tear duct. I'm now taking the Kneadable Eraser to clean up a bit of the charcoal in this area. Next, I'll be taking the Carbon H pencil to enhance the details of the catchlight in the iris. You may observe that most catchlights often reflect some of the eyelashes. The H-grade pencil is significantly harder, making it ideal for creating these fine lines and intricate details. Next, I'm going in with the 2B charcoal pencil to darken the pupil and add some darker details around the iris. After adding those darker details, I then smooth it over with a blending stump as well as the No. 2 dry brush. I'll go back and forth between adding detail and darker values and then smoothing it out with the blending stump or the brush and then going back again and adding more deeper dark values. I'm using my fine tip eraser to tidy up specific areas that I wish to maintain a bright white. Next, I'll use it to add delicate lines and details within the iris. I'll alternate between the eraser, blending with the blending stump, and enhancing depth with the H charcoal pencil. The iris is definitely my favorite part to draw. Doing all these little tiny details and fine lines and intricacies is so much fun. You can make it to be whatever you want it to be. You can change the catchlight, you can add details and depth wherever you want to make it your own. I'm taking my firm No. 2 brush now and using the charcoal that's already on the brush to gently add value to the outer areas of the sclera. Next, I'm using a 6B graphite pencil to enhance the lower eyelashes, ensuring that they remain visible as I begin to add shading to the lower eyelid. To achieve realistic eyelashes, vary their length and thickness as natural eyelashes aren't uniform. You want to pay attention to the direction and the slight curve of each lash, and remember to overlap them slightly for a more natural appearance. Continuing with the 6B graphite pencil, I'm now applying shading to the tear duct and then blending it smoothly using the blending stump. Using the No. 6 Imperial dry brush and the shades 100 Cool Gray Pastel shaved into a powder, I'm adding a base shade to the inner sclera area. Then to slightly darken the sclera, I'm taking the 2B charcoal pencil and rubbing the charcoal onto a scrap piece of paper. Then taking the same brush, I'm picking up the charcoal and adding the value to the inner corner. As I did with the lower lashes, I'm taking the 6B graphite pencil and darkening the upper lashes and defining the tear duct and waterline. Next, I'll blend it out using the No. 6 brush and enhance the look by applying a touch of the shade 100 Pastel to the upper eyelid. Now I'm using the H charcoal pencil to darken the crease in the upper eyelid. Then I'll blend that line out with the No. 2 firm brush. Now that I've finished drawing the key features of the eye, I'll gradually begin to establish the foundational layers of the skin and seamlessly blend them into the upper eye crease. To do this, I'm starting with the shade 100 Gray Pastel and the large, soft No. 16 Glacier brush. For the next layer, I'll be using the No. 028 Pastel along with the modified No. 12 Glacier brush. The brush's angle and slight firmness will aid in pushing the pastel into the paper's texture, resulting in a smooth and darker value. After all that blending, the dark crease tends to lighten a bit, so I'm going back in with the 2B charcoal pencil to darken the line. then smoothing it out again with the firm number 2 brush. When blending this line, I focus on merging the charcoal both upward from the crease and downward. This technique in shading is essential for creating a realistic illusion of depth and three-dimensionality in the crease. To further blend out these layers, I switched to the large hog hair round number 6 brush. For the next layer, I'm continuing with the same number 6 brush and using the number 2B charcoal block that was shaved down into a powder to add more depth and contrast to the upper eye area. Once again, I'm darkening the crease with the 2B charcoal pencil, but this time I'm using the modified number 8 brush to blend it out. Using this brush will help maintain the darkness of the line and further smooth out the transition. Once I've blended out the line, I took a larger number 12 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃 brush to further blend out the eyelid. Next, I'm adding value to the lower eye crease with the number 2 brush and 2B charcoal powder, and then further smoothing it out with a larger firm brush. Now I'm adding 2B charcoal to the inner eye and tear duct with the number 2 brush. I'm using the 2B charcoal pencil to deepen the upper eye crease and enhance the shadow along the line. Afterwards, I'll blend everything using the number 2 firm brush along with the number 6 brush. I'm just going back now with the electric eraser to bring out the highlight in the outer and inner corners of the eye. Using the 6B graphite pencil, I'm adding more shading and texture to the tear duct, then blending it slightly with the blending stump. I've reached a stage now where I have a solid foundation and it's time to fine-tune the details and bring more realism to my drawing. To achieve this, I prefer to position my reference photo right beside my artwork, allowing me to easily compare the two for greater accuracy. Using a nice sharp 2B charcoal pencil, I'm adding the eyelashes, paying special attention to the natural curve and varying lengths. To create a more realistic look, I gently flick the pencil upward, ensuring the eyelash has a slight taper. This technique mimics the natural growth pattern of eyelashes. I use the same charcoal pencil to darken the upper crease and add more depth and shadow. I then blend it out with the number 2 brush and then smooth over it with the Imperial number 6 brush. Next, I decided to use a pencil eraser, but any fine tip eraser will work. When I want to avoid sharp, harsh, thin lines, I often switch to a pencil eraser for its soft, rounded tip. Since these highlights tend to darken a bit during the blending process, I like to revisit them to enhance their brightness. This technique allows me to fine-tune the surrounding areas for more accurate values. I'm now adding darker values with the 2B charcoal powder and the modified 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 number 8 brush. I'm reviewing the entire piece to identify areas that require darkening. I noticed that the outer crease area of the upper eye lacked depth, so I utilized the 2B charcoal pencil along with the 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 number 8 brush to blend it seamlessly. A handy tip for evening out large sections is to use a clean, dry dish sponge. For this purpose, I've cut a strip from a dish sponge and I'm using the rough green abrasive side to refine the skin tones. I'm adding darker values again to the upper eye crease with the 2B charcoal pencil and the modified 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 number 8 brush. Next, I'm using my fine tip pencil eraser to lighten the spaces between the upper eyelashes. Then I'll smoothen it as needed with a blending stump. I'm refining a few details in the iris using a 2B charcoal pencil, blending stump, kneaded eraser, and fine tip eraser. Next, I'll use my blending stump coated with 2B charcoal to create random dark spots representing the shadows of the pores. Afterwards, I'll blend it out using a number 2 firm brush. Next, I'll use my fine tip eraser to create small highlights and delicate lines, beginning to enhance the textures of the eyelid. I then use the number 3 carbon pencil to define the shadows and spots in this area, then smooth over with the number 6 brush. I'm currently using my fine tip eraser to create delicate squiggly lines and highlights, and the kneaded eraser to lift the charcoal closer to the lash line. Now I'm adding more emphasis to the inner corner of the eye while enhancing the highlight along the waterline. I'm using my fine tip eraser to add more emphasis to the highlights of the pores and then softening it with the blending stump. Then continuing to add more of the highlight details towards the outer area of the upper eye. I then use the kneaded eraser to lift some charcoal in specific areas, gently lightening the value. After that, I smooth it out with the number 6 brush. Next, I'm taking my electric eraser to brighten up the areas to get them as light as possible. I'm currently enhancing this area by incorporating additional shadow and highlights as I see fit. My aim is not to perfectly replicate this texture, but rather to achieve a comparable appearance by manipulating light and shadow. To do this, I'm going back and forth with my Carbon 3B pencil, fine tip eraser, and number 6 brush. Now I'm going to start the skin texture on the lower eye area. To do this, I'm starting with my electric eraser to add squiggly lines and adding the darker lines using a sharp 3B carbon pencil. To create this realistic fine line skin texture under the eye, it's essential to focus on the direction and pattern of the lines that you draw. Begin by observing the natural lines of the skin in that area, noting how they often crisscross and form small, flattened diamond shapes. After adding these lines, I like to go over and soften them with the number 2 firm brush. I'm still working on creating the white highlight lines using the electric eraser. Once the lines are added, I refine them by smoothing over with the number 6 brush. Next, I lift some of the value of the outer sclera area using the kneaded eraser. Now I'm adding more value to the area with the number 6 brush and 2B charcoal powder, as well as the number 3B carbon pencil. I've switched to the H carbon pencil now to create slightly lighter lines. This process is a bit repetitive, but in my opinion it is necessary in order to achieve those hyper-realistic details. I've started enhancing these crisscross lines with a fine tip eraser, followed by smoothing them out with a blending stump. By using the dirty end of the blending stump, I've incorporated a few irregular spots and added texture. Next, I use my carbon pencil to emphasize some of the deeper lines. I'm adding more value with 2B charcoal powder and the number 8 glacier brush. Using my fine tip eraser, I'm going back over some of the crisscross highlights, then I'm taking my 2H graphite pencil to add more definition to the lines, and then using the electric eraser to add little highlights to the diamond areas. Now it's time to darken the lower lashes. I'm focusing on tapering off the lashes, then adding a little bit of shadow to the root area. Finally, I like to step back to review the overall composition of the eye, making any necessary adjustments. This process ensures that each element harmonizes to bring the drawing to life, capturing the intricate beauty of the eye with precision. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and let me know if you have any questions. Take care and happy drawing!